Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Shalom. I pray this message find you in good health. I pray that you are continuously encouraged and that you are growing in wisdom, knowledge, discernment, and understanding. My name is Symmanayah, and welcome to End Time Words to Yashar'al. If you're tuning in for the first time, this message is to all those who seek to worship and obey Almighty Yahuah and who accepts and embraces Yahusha as our Mashiach, our Messiah. This message is to an awakening nation consisting of both Hebrew and Goyim. Goyim meaning other nations, or commonly referred to as Gentiles, that are made one by Yahusha. Again, welcome. This segment is entitled 21st Century Ostrich Syndrome. Are we burying our heads? Again, 21st Century Ostrich Syndrome. Are we burying our heads? Where? Whom gets our attention? Are we consumed by distractions or not? Consider Proverbs 4:25, and it reads as follows: Let your eyes look forward, and your eyelids look straight before you. I ask you this question: who is it that guides our steps? How do we actually walk? It's stated in 2 Corinthians 5:7, for we walk by belief, not by sight. If this be the case, are we taking for granted the strength and power of our belief? Do we think it's just natural to walk, to do something, to get into something, to come away from something? Or is it because we believe we can do it and get away with it, or we can do it out of obedience? There are so many things that are used to distract us from the guidance of the Spirit of Yahusha. Yes, my brothers and sisters, so many things, whether it be technological or not. I look around and there's just so much that can grab our attention and distort our focus. How many of us take a moment out of our time and make every attempt to pray without ceasing? As stated in 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Who has come to realize that more and more methods are being created to alter our focus from the Most High Yahuah and ignore the guidance of the Spirit of Yahusha? Who is willing to be freed of strongholds? How many of us have encountered the phrase or something similar? I don't want to think about it. It's too depressing. Are we using phrase and words? Are we embracing distractions? Are we burying our heads to come away from witnessing the realities of what's emerging, what's unfolding? To come away from our responsibilities and or the things we will be held accountable? Are we willingly taking on a 21st century ostrich approach to living by choosing to bury our heads into whatever pleases us? Pray and watch. All things come with a price. Let me reread three scriptures, the previous three scriptures. Proverbs 4:25. Let your eyes look forward and your eyelids look straight before you. 2 Corinthians 5:7. For we walk by belief, not by sight. 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Pray without ceasing. Now let's begin to look and consider, what is it that really guides us, or should be guiding us? What living instructions do we have? Let's examine some things as it relates to looking either away or towards. Do we not have instructions used in guiding us? Let's see. John 14:26 reads, But the Helper, the set-apart Spirit whom the Father shall send in my name, he shall teach you all and remind you all that I've said to you. This is the Mashiach talking. So the Father will send the helper, the set apart Spirit, in his name being the Mashiach Yahusha. John 16:13 says, but when he comes, the Spirit of truth, he shall guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak from himself, but whatever he hears, he shall speak, and he shall announce to you what is to come. Again, I ask, do we not have a guide, a living guide, to free us, to keep us from or free us from the strongholds of distractions? Let's look at some scriptures that use the word look. Let's examine scriptures that uses the word look. Isaiah 31:1 reads, woe to those who go down to Mitzrayim for help and rely on horses, who trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong, but who do not look to the set apart one of Yashar'al, nor seek Yahuwah. Look. Isaiah 41:10 reads, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not look around, for I am your Elohim. I shall strengthen you, I shall also help you, I shall also uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. Again, here we're told not to look around. Instructions that encourage us to focus on the Most High. That was Isaiah 41:10. Isaiah 51:6. Again, Isaiah 51:6. Lift up your eyes to the heavens and look on the earth beneath, for the heavens shall vanish like smoke, and the earth wear out like a garment, and those who dwell in it die as gnats. But my deliverance is forever, and my righteousness is not broken. You see, lift up your eyes. Look, my brothers. Jeremiah 30, chapter 30, verse 3 reads, for look, the days are coming, declares Yahuwah, when I should turn back the captivity of my people Yashar'al and Yehudah, declares Yahuwah, and I shall bring them back to the land that I gave to their fathers and let them possess it. We're told to look. What are we looking for, my brothers and sisters? Are we looking for signs in the times? Are we looking for righteous living instruction and guidance? We are encouraged to look. If we are victims or if we succumb to distractions, or if we choose to bury our heads in the sand, would it not put us in a condition where we may miss out on something that is very important in our walk, in this journey? Daniel 8:19 reads and said, look, I am making known to you what shall take place in the latter time of the wrath. For at the appointed time should be the end. Yes, did the Most High make known to Daniel? Did Daniel and are there not other scriptures that make known things to us as it relates to the end? Consider, if we are to be aware, let us be disciplined enough to look. Joel 3:1 says, for look, in those days and at that time when I turn back the captivity of Yehudah and Jerusalem. Again, look. Amos 4:13 reads, for look, he who forms mountains and creates the wind, and who declares to man what his thought is and makes the morning darkness, and who treads the high places of the earth, Yahuwah, Elohim of hosts, is his name. Habakkuk 1:5 reads, look among the nations and see, and be amazed, for a work is being wrought in your days, which you would not believe if it were told. That was Habakkuk 1:5. Zechariah 2:10. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for look, I am coming and shall dwell in your midst, declares Yahuwah. Malachi 4:1. For look, the day shall come, burning like a furnace, and all the proud and every wrongdoer shall be stubble. In the day that shall come shall burn them up, said Yahuwah of hosts, which leaves to them neither root nor branch. 1 Corinthians 1:26. For look at your calling, brothers, that there were not many wise according to the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble. Philippians 2:4 reads, each one should look out, not only for his own interest, but also for the interests of others. Philippians 3:2. Look out for dogs. Look out for evil workers. Look out for the mutilation. 1 Timothy 3:5. For if a man does not know how to rule his own house, how shall he look after the assembly of Elohim? Hebrews 3:12. Look out, brothers, lest there be any of you a wicked heart of unbelief and falling away from the living Elohim. James chapter 3 verse 3 and 4. Look, we put bits in the mouths of horses for them to obey us, and we turn their body. Look at the ships too. Although they are so big and are driven by strong winds, they are turned by a very small rudder wherever the pilot intends. I ask you, my brothers and sisters, are there enough scriptures? Are there enough instructions written? Are there enough alive instructions? Do we witness? Can we witness? Have we witnessed guidance from the Spirit of Yahusha that encourages us and directs us to look and pay attention, to be mindful of our goings and comings? In all the scriptures that are presented, there is a complete message found by reading the whole book in or chapters, as well as something to be received by reading what I have presented in part. You examine it, my brothers and sisters, and ask yourself, have I presented scriptures erroneously? Do they conflict with the word of the Most High? Do they reinforce? Is there life in this message that I present to you? Have I taken away or distorted anything that is presented? Or does it embrace the embodiment of building a righteous body? Is it reflective of something that the Most High would desire to be presented to us, one to another? You be the judge. Who is able to discern connecting words, words that build up the body, words that are made alive by the Spirit of Yahusha? Again, I ask the question, who or what is guiding us individually? Who takes time to pause and reflect or ponder on the influences of our actions, their actions? How many of us have done that? Pause, ask, what's influencing us? What's the origin of that which is motivating me to do a thing? We can stop even in momentum, my brothers and sisters. If we identify something to be unrighteous, we can come away, turn aside, and look towards the direction of righteousness. Have it come to a point where we just take even the simplest of things for granted? Let us come away from ignoring the value of all that is given us in the favor that we find in the Most High. Are we trying to hide from reality? If or when we choose to succumb to distractions, in other words, if we choose to bury our heads in the, you fill in the blank. Is it video games? Is it technology? Is it cooking? Is it eating? Is it playing? Is it partying? Are we burying our heads into distractions that causes us to turn away from the living instruction and guidance of the Most High? Sooner or later, my brothers and sisters, all these things will cease to exist. Does time stop for us because we choose to bury our heads in the sand? We choose to hide. we choose to become victims of distraction? I think not. Who has witnessed the trends and the cycles that are similar to what is written regarding end-time prophecy? Who is able to bear witness to the unfolding and emerging of the fulfillment of scriptures as it relates to these last days? Are we familiar with the 10 virgins or maidens regarding preparation? Is it important? One step at a time, my brothers and sisters. One step at a time. Moment by moment. Precept on precept. We can experience freedom from strongholds and major distractions. How many of us ask one another, what is it that is consuming our attention? How many of us are led by the Spirit of Yahusha to assist one another in becoming free of distractions? As a child, I was taught about how an ostrich buries its head when in distress, when afraid. Something so simple in description has taken on an array of substitutes for sand. Instead of the ostrich burying his head in the sand, we have chosen so many other things to allow ourselves to become distracted, captured in this 21st century. It's time to be free. It's time to manage this tabernacle. It's time to manage this vessel. Let us, my brothers and sisters, realize it's time, my brothers and sisters, to realize it is unwise to attempt to dodge in or hide from what's to come. As it is written, we have this treasure in earthen vessels. 2 Corinthians 4:7 reads as follows, and we have this treasure in earthen vessels, so that the excellence of the power might be of Elohim and not of us. Ponder on that for a moment, my brothers and sisters. The excellence of the power of Elohim, not of us. So there's work to be done. We have things we must take under consideration. We are at war. This is a battle, my brothers and sisters. As the tabernacles of the Most High Yahuah, guided by the Spirit of Yahusha, we have an obligation to walk in true worship and obedience. One step at a time builds up to many and demonstrates the victory we have from strongholds. Are you ready? Are you ready to press forward with a renewed and/or different mindset? With a renewed, a regenerating demonstration to those who watch, to those who pay attention and witness our actions, our behavior? Are you one of those who are committed to increasing worship and obedience to the Most High? If we fill our time with righteous actions of obedience and worship, then it leaves zero to minimum opportunities to succumb to unrighteous distractions. Let's encourage one another to be free of the ostrich effect. Let us focus as one hungry and or thirsty for righteous instruction and guidance, daily, moment by moment. Let us remember the power of atonement and not become victims of this depression or sadness because of our faltering mistakes. Be energized, my brothers. Be energized, my sisters, and experience the life-giving force that is within each of us. Are you Yashar'al? Are you part of an awakening nation of believers? Are there many members that make up one body? Awake, my brothers and sisters, and let us begin to encourage one another. Let us ask questions and examine our every actions with a discerning mind and spirit. Again, it's time to come away from the ostrich effect and be guided by the Spirit of Yahusha. Was this segment similar to a previous recording regarding distractions? Indeed it was. However, there is much to be stated and or said about whom we give our attention and service. Pray, my brothers and sisters. Pray and watch. Pray some more. Study. I realize this journey comes with many weights, many details to be adhered to, many voices to sort through. But the Spirit of Yahusha will increase discernment among us, and we will be able to execute right rulings and come away from the things that distract us, come away from the strongholds, be healed of the ostrich effect. Again, my brothers, I realize this journey comes with many weights, but we can, and I pray we do, endure until such time as appointed by the Most High to be with the ultimate bridegroom, Yahusha, our Mashiach, our Messiah. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, be encouraged. Be encouraged, because Almighty Yahuwah is not slack concerning his promises, nor his plans for our lives. Pray and watch, study, pray some more, and discern with understanding. The time is at hand. What will you do? Until next time, shalom, shalom, shalom.